Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Well, it's actually tonight's video. I'm settling down here for a sort of a nice early autumn or mid-autumn evening here in Australia, and in the middle of the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic, which is awful, and my heart goes out to everyone that has been affected by this and who is affected, and we all just need to stay strong and stay home, look after your community, look after your people, do the right thing. But that's not what this is about. One thing I've come to realize in the last few weeks is that the majority of my pen use became revolved around work. And for those of you who have seen some of my videos in the past, recent past, you would know that I'm an opera singer firstly, and opera is one of those industries, or the arts in general, performing arts across the spectrum of what that means, same as sport and a number of other industries, has been basically stopped dead in its tracks because of this. And so therefore my work has disappeared, and so I'm not going to rehearsals, I'm not doing all those sorts of things, I'm at home a lot. I'm still working, doing multiple different sort of projects, but for the most part my work has been put on hold while this pandemic is in place. So one thing I came to realize was that most of my pen use became revolved around this. It was taking notes in rehearsals, it was writing to-do lists of administrative tasks I needed to do for my job, for my singing. As a freelance artist, I run my own business, and so there's a lot that I need to take notes of, and if I don't put them down on paper, then I forget them. And so I was using my pens a lot for that purpose. I used to do a bit of a long form journaling and things like that, but that sort of fell by the wayside as well. And so I have found that I still want to enjoy using my pens and still enjoy exploring them and playing with the ink and playing with the pens and all of those sorts of things. And so I decided that what I would do is for a few days I would just concentrate on how I was continuing to use my pens. I used to have way too many pens inked, and I would never use them enough to warrant having that many pens inked. I would still go through a pen every couple of days, convert a worth of ink. But if I had 10 pens inked up, inevitably a group would just sort of not get used for whatever reason. So I tried to cut that down to have a maximum of 6, but at the moment I have a maximum of 4 because I don't need anything more than that, and they all serve sort of specific uses at the moment, and they sort of cycle through and the inks cycle through, so I'm not sort of stuck on one pen or one ink for a long period of time. But so what I thought I'd do is I'll talk you through how I'm using them, show you the products sort of that I'm using, and to see how we go. First thing I'll do is I'll show you the pens. The two pens that are sort of like the everyday pens. The first is the Schon Design Pocket 6. This is a great little fountain pen. When it's put together, it makes a nice sort of handy size. Great pocket pen, and this pen has been really handy just to have literally in my pocket. It's inked with Diamine Oxford Blue, so it's a nice standard ink, and so if I'm doing shopping lists, if I'm doing anything like that, it's a really great pen to just have on hand, tick stuff off, write notes down, write phone numbers down, those sorts of things, always in my pocket. The other one is the Pilot Custom 823, which is a classic pen. Anyone that uses the pen, most people really appreciate this pen. It's a really great size in the hand. This is inked with Colorverse Supernova, so a nice sort of vibrant, but still sort of everyday use blue. And this is what is doing the majority of my writing at the moment. I have a couple of other pens I'll get to in a second. Okay, so what I thought I'd do is talk you through what I'm doing with my pens. Firstly, there's the everyday stuff. This is the Lockby Pocket Journal. It has a Tomo River notebook inside it. This has become like an everyday carry item for me. Shopping list, when you are out to get just the essentials, this helps me just get the essentials. And so that partnered with the Schon Design pocket pen means that I have exactly what I need on me at all times. So there's shopping lists, there's to-do lists, all those sorts of things. I'm making to-do lists constantly, and you know, sort of little tasks I need to get done, projects that I'm wanting to look into, all that sort of thing. Journaling. Now, I do two forms of journaling at the moment. As I said before, I used to do long form journaling. I stopped doing that for a while, but I have started doing it again. And the journal I'm using for that is this Archer and Olive notebook. It's got 160 GSM paper in it. It's quite fountain pen friendly, and it's just a nice book to write in. It's got a nice feel about it. And so what I'm finding is great with long form journaling at the moment is that I can write what I want to write, not what anyone else is ever going to see, or not important for anyone else. So it's what I'm going through emotionally, how I'm dealing with, you know, the issues regarding work and life in general, things I'm up to, things I'm interested in, things I'm learning. I'm reading a lot about physics at the moment, and you know, getting my head around all of that. So in here it takes like a lot of sort of stuff, and it's nice to write. And this is a nice way that I'm exploring using pens through and changing ink, and seeing how different pens write and different inks and all those sorts of things. Stuff that I used to love doing with my long form journaling in the past. Then there's a shorter form of journaling that I do, which is the some lines a day, which I've jokingly said in the last few weeks could be some words a day, because just stuff's not happening. In this, I like to sort of write what I'm doing, what I've done each day, like the events, you know, if I had a rehearsal for something, I'd write that, those sorts of things. So, you know, it's a really great way for me then to look back over the years and go, oh, on this day 2 years ago, I did this. And I'm in my third year of completing the book now. And it's, if you don't know the book, I've done a video on it, so check it out. Like, I think it's a really, really cool journal idea, and there are multiple different versions of this sort of book, but this is the Leuchtturm brand one, which is, yeah, some lines a day. And so over 5 years, you can collect what it looks like. And I think looking back on this period of history in a couple of years' time will be really interesting to see just how much things have changed. So short form journaling. So all these ways are great ways to use your pens and put them into play. Another thing I got was the Hobonichi Techo. This is the Avec, which is the half a year, well, a year in 2 books. And what I've been doing with this is writing quotations and stuff. So I've got a couple of music quotes there, and this is another great way to use pens. And a pen that I use, I'm using at the moment for this, is the Faber-Castell Loom. This is inked with Diamine Terracotta. There's a lot of Diamine in my pens at the moment, and this is really nice because that ink looks so beautiful on top of a paper, which is what the Hobonichi Techo has in it. It's just a fun way of giving myself something to do each day, to find a quote or to find something to write in there that is not necessarily meaningful to the day, but that I find interesting on any particular day. So journaling, whether it's about emotions or events or what you ate that day, great way to use your pens, great way to engage in not playing with the pens, but, you know, enjoying them and like enjoying your inks and things like that. Another thing I have been doing a little bit more is artwork related to using pens and ink. So I will do sketches and stuff. I've got a Muji, this is one of my other pens I've got inked at the moment, the last one I've got, which is the Muji fountain pen. It's a lovely fine nib pen. It's quite rugged and robust, and this one sometimes goes in my little art case or comes, you know, with me. I partner with here little Moleskine little sketchbook, and I won't normally draw on location. I'll normally take a photo of something that I like the idea of sketching, and then I'll come home and I'll sit on the couch and I'll just enjoy sketching it. And at the moment, this has Diamine Saddle Brown in it, which is a nice little one to draw with. And leads into my next point. It's actually a really lovely ink to use with water. So sometimes I've got on other paper, not in this particular book, but I will do little sketches and drawings, and then just play around with moving the ink around and getting some washes and things like that. And then I can bring in other ink colors as well to sort of match that up. So I'm using the inks, I'm using pens, I'm engaging my mind and my hands and not letting them sit still, for lack of a better term. So the last thing that I've been doing a lot with my pens is writing letters, and I use Fontaine Triomphe paper. This is the A5, I've also got the A4. Really nice paper for writing. It's blank, but it comes with a little guide, a guide sheet that you can place underneath the page so you can see lines, so you're always writing straight. Whether the people end up getting the letters or not, it's nice to write, and if they do get the letters, there's a chance you'll get one back, and it's always nice to communicate with people in a way that has not been lost, but has been neglected a lot since the invention of email and text message and Facebook Messenger and all these sorts of things. So there are lots of ways you can use your pens. These are the ways I use mine. Everyday life, you're writing lists, you're planning projects. I'm planning ahead into 2022 at the moment, just trying to get a sense of the fact that life goes on, that my career will still be there when the world wakes up again, and I think we're all looking forward to that. But we do have to do what we have to do right now, and so find ways of using your pens in your life. In the comments below, let me know what you do. Let me know what ways you find to use your pens in interesting ways, and maybe we can all share and join the community and sort of find how everyone else is using their pens and enjoying their inks at the moment as well, because it's a wonderful community and it's a wonderful hobby. So how do you enjoy yours at the moment without necessarily the same amount of sort of hands-on work required that you used them in before? Has your situation changed with how you use your pens? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video interesting. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe and all that sort of stuff, so you can stay up to date with what I produce. You can get in touch with me here or on any of my social media platforms and stuff, which are listed below. Drop me questions if you've got products you think I should be looking at or ways you'd like to support the channel. Get in touch. As I said before, I don't make any money from these videos. I don't have Patreon. I don't advertise on them. I do this because I love it, but there are costs involved with producing pen reviews and ink reviews. So if there's a way you would like to support the channel, get in touch and we'll see what we can do. In the meantime, enjoy your pens and your writing. Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. All the best to you and your loved ones, and I'll talk to you soon.